Welcome to Beginner's Guide for Remnant from the Ashes. Here are a couple of tips that I've learned throughout my time with this game, and I'm hoping these tips would help you in understanding the game better and to get through it easier. Start the game and finish it on normal difficulty first, because without leveled traits and better gear, going directly into hard difficulty is suicidal. I've tried it and it is almost impossible to do anything. You need better gear and traits in order to survive on harder difficulties. Eventually, if the game becomes too easy for you, which it shouldn't be, then you can reroll the campaign in the middle of a normal difficulty campaign, and that way your character will be slightly more prepared for harder difficulties depending on the gear and trait ranks. Consumables are a very important part of the game. Blood Wort is especially helpful, because lots of times you are going to run out of Dragon Tears fast in bad situations, leaving you without any heals. This is where Blood Wort comes into play. Also, bandages, tonics, anything that removes status effects is necessary, not only for removal of negative effects, but they also grant resistance for 10 minutes against that same effect after using said items. Differences in starting class selections are starting trait point distribution, starting traits, gear, and mods. All of the things other classes start with can be obtained almost immediately from vendors. Traits can be found somewhere else in the world, but anything gear related can be obtained immediately from the vendors. To get 2 easy tomes of knowledge, submachine gun and some other stuff, go to Founder's Hideout and pick up Ward 13 keycard. It is unmissable. Get back to Ward 13 and go to B2 level. Loot everything and take the fuse. You will also find here very important trait called Elderly Knowledge that boosts EXP gain. Combine that with Sage Stone for fast leveling. Now go to B3 level and use the fuse, pull the lever and go into the new area for another tome of knowledge. Get back to fuse box, pull lever again and get to the fan that isn't rotating anymore. Pick up Ward 13 master key, get back to B2 level and unlock doors at the end with that key to get the submachine gun. Zone scaling works like this. Upon entering a new zone, game calculates your average gear level. That means game checks gear in each slot, equipped and unequipped, and takes highest upgrade of every slot and comes up with an average. Only gear, not traits. On top of your average gear score, game adds +1 to difficulty modifier. So every new zone that you enter will be your average gear score +1. In this case, my gear score is 7, and every new zone that I enter would be 8. If I went in with this same gear, then my pistol and hammer would be really bad versus that whole zone, but shotgun and armor would be on par. Important thing to know is that when you enter a new zone and game calculates that zone's level, that level will stay the same forever, it will not change anymore. When I say zone, I mean outside world, and every dungeon checks your gear score and adds +1. How you want to level the gear is up to you, but here is my advice nonetheless. Keep upgrading equipment to minimum. Enter new area, be it a dungeon or outside world, and check rating versus zone stat. If it's diamond shaped symbol, you are alright, it means you are on the same level as the zone. Don't upgrade anything anymore unless that zone is very problematic for you. In that case, get back to War 13, upgrade the gear and come back, but remember that the next new zone you go into will scale based on your gear, so you won't be overpowered anymore. If rating versus zone has red arrow symbol, then upgrade your gear until diamond shaped symbol is shown. That way you will keep all zone levels at lowest possible scale while you progress and become more powerful. Max gear score is 20, and that is why you should keep zone scaling at minimum, because eventually you will run out of things to upgrade and game sometimes levels zones on its own, independent of your gear score. If that is the case, then game would allow for a maximum difference of +2, meaning if you have 20 as your average gear score, zone can go maximum to 22, but that could still be a problem because that's a significant difference in gear. Also, upgrade weapons and armor you are using at the moment to same level so that everything works at same efficiency. You do not want to take more damage than necessary or do way less damage with secondary weapon because ammo is no longer available for primary one. I know this sounds complicated, but I hope this helps in understanding zone leveling. Materials like iron, forged iron, galvanized iron and others drop depending on zone level. So if zone level is 6, meaning your gear score is 5, then forged iron will start dropping. If it's 11, galvanized iron will start dropping, and so on. Luminite crystals drop from special enemies that spawn with sound effect. They can be farmed by revisiting some early dungeons after you have leveled up gear and traits. Two more small things to mention. Shoulder switch is very useful function to know about. When aiming down sight, press left shift or left analog stick to switch shoulder look. This can create easier angles when in trouble. Another useful thing to know is that in areas where there is a lot of shooting you can crouch behind cover, and every time you want to shoot, character will pop out of cover and come back into cover afterwards. It is really nice that there is such a mechanic in the game. That would be all for this video. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching and see you soon, you death-defying bastards.